Hello everyone, my name is Dalit Soni and you are watching Drishti PCS. In this video, we'll be starting with a new initiative, that is State PCS Quick Revision. Now in this series, we'll be talking about certain high yielding topics which has been asked by various examinations. It does not matter whether you are preparing for UPPCS, BPSC, MPPSC or Rajasthan PSC. All these topics are very high yielding and they have been asked in all these examinations. So it will be very fruitful for you to go through these particular topics, and let's revise with these videos. Okay, so in this particular first episode, we'll be starting with the polity, and then these are the topics which we are going to discuss, that is sources of the constitution, part of the constitution, preamble, fundamental rights, directive principle of state policy, fundamental duties, etc. In the end, there will be some practice question for you, and you have to solve these questions and answer in the comment box. Okay, so let's start with the discussion. Before that, I would like to make this announcement that for those who are preparing for the UPPCS, at our Lucknow center we are starting this course UPPCS GS Foundation batch from October 15th. For more information, you can call on this number, that is 9643 007 007, or you can directly visit the center and get enrolled over there. And for those who are preparing for MPPSC, so you can directly go to the center at our indoor center and get the information about the MPPCS foundation batch, which is starting on 27th of the September. And either you can call on this particular number, that is 9654 770 Okay, so again, the number for Lucknow center is 9643 007 007, and for those who are preparing for MPPCS, number would be 9654 770 770. Okay, with that, we'll be moving forward with the discussion, starting with the sources of the constitution. When we talk about Indian constitution, you know that it is a very vast document which has been taken, or you can say the provision of this constitution was taken from various different constitutions over the world. Okay, at the time our constitution was being framed, so there was many constitution which has already seen the day of the light. So we have actually gone through them, and whichever provision which was suitable for our country, we have taken that. But the major chunk of our administrative system was taken from the Government of India Act 1935, from where we have taken the administrative machinery. Okay, because we were very familiar with that particular act, so we have adopted a lot of things from that particular act. After that, if we talk about the parliamentary system of the governance, single citizenship, rule of law, all these things were taken from Britain. Then moving further, we'll be seeing, when we talk about the appointment of governor by the center, federal system of our country, residual powers, etc. These things are taken from Canada. Okay, and when we talk about the fundamental rights, which is to be suspended during the period of emergency, this particular provision has been taken from the Germany, and it is kind of a unique, you can say, provision which is there in the Indian Constitution. Then talking about the fundamental duties of the citizen, that has been taken from the Soviet Union of that time. Then fundamental rights, independence of judiciary, doctrine of judicial review, vice president's post, impeachment procedure, and the removal of judges of Supreme Court and High Court. All these provisions has been taken from the United States of America or USA. Okay. Now here you can see impeachment of president, and here removal of the judges. Okay. When we talk about the procedures are almost similar. Okay, but the word impeachment is mostly used for president only. Okay, now moving further, if we talk about the directive principle of state policy, election system of president in India, or the, you can say, members which are nominated by president in the parliament, these concept has been taken from the Ireland. Okay, so I hope that is clear, and this particular slide will be important for you, so you can go through this slide or take a screenshot. Okay, now moving further to the next part, that is the parts of the constitution. Okay, so if we discuss the parts here, you will be seeing that there is a concept which has been followed over here. When we talk about a state, okay, so state has various parts. Okay, one is the territory, okay, and then people, okay, then government, and then there will be sovereignty. Okay, when we talk about state, here you can see first we have started with the territories, first part, that is territories, then people, that is citizenship over there. After that, there are certain, you can say, benefit which are available to the citizens, that is fundamental rights which are given over there. Then from the part 5 you will be seeing we are talking about the government. Okay, so that is the scheme of our constitution. So let's see over here. When we are looking at the parts of the constitution, the first part is talking about the union and its territories. You know that the first article says that India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. Okay, so about that union and its territory, it is given in the part 1, article 1 to 4. Then when we talk about citizenship, that is given in the part 2 from article 5 to 11. Then part 3 is fundamental rights, that is from your article 12 to 35. Okay, now starting from the article 12, which is talking about the definition of state, then article 13 is talking about the definition of law. After that, you will be seeing from article 14 onwards, we are having this fundamental rights, that is equality and all. Okay, so we'll be talking about that in the further slides. Then part 4 is talking about the directive principle of state policy, starting from article 36 till article 51. Okay, then you'll be seeing part 5, that is talking about the union government. Okay, so there are article 52 till article 151, we are having these provisions for the union government. In this there are various chapters, that is 1 to 5, which is talking about the executive, parliament, legislative power of the president, union judiciary and CAG. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now moving further, you'll be seeing that part 6 is talking about the state government. Okay, in the state government also there are various chapters which are given. Okay, and there is one extra chapter, that is subordinate courts. Okay, so here you will be seeing first is general, then executive, state legislature, then legislative power of the governor, then high courts and the subordinate courts. These subordinate courts are basically under the monitoring and the supervision of the high court. Articles related are article 152 to 237. Okay, moving further, you will be having part 8, which is basically union territories, article 239 to 242. Here you will be seeing that part 7 is missing. Okay, so this part 7 has been repealed. Okay, so you can remember that the part 7 has been repealed, so you don't have to worry about that as well. Now part 9, if we talk about, that is panchayats. You know that that is given under article 243 to article 243O. Okay, after that we have part 9A, that is municipalities, that is article 243P to 243ZG. Okay, now when we look at these things like suffixes which are added afterwards, these means that the articles has been added later. Okay, when we talk about the panchayat, that has been added through the 73rd Constitution Amendment Act. When we look at the municipalities has been added by 74th Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, I hope that is clear. Moving further, part 9b is talking about the cooperative societies. These were also added later. Okay, you have to tell me in the comment box that with which Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, that act actually happened in 2011. The number, or you can say the series of that particular amendment act, you can tell me in the comment box. Okay, so like I told you that 73rd is for the panchayat, 74th is for municipalities, and similarly you have to tell me that which Constitution Amendment Act was there to bring these cooperative societies, or you can say give cooperative societies a constitutional status. Okay, moving further, part 10, that is talking about the scheduled and the tribal areas, article 244 and 244A are basically talking about it. You must have heard about the you can say schedule 5 and schedule 6. Okay, so administration of schedule 5 is given. Administration of schedule 5 is given in 244. Administration under schedule 6 is given for 244A. Okay, so for schedule 6 there are 4 states, that is Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Okay, so these are the 4 states which are there in the schedule 6. Other than that, schedule 5 states are there, various states are there, and some areas are there in schedule 5. These areas are basically, you can say, defined by president. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now moving further, next part is basically talking about the relations between union and the states, article 245 to 263. Then part 12 is talking about the finance, property, contracts, suits, etc. Okay, so here you will be seeing 264 to 300A. Then we have part 13, that is talking about the trade, commerce and intercourse, you can say within the territory. Okay, part 14, if we are talking about, then here it is services under the union and the states, which are under the article 308 to 323. And part 14A is talking about the tribunal. Part 15 is talking about the elections. This article is important, article 324 is important for you, so please remember that. Moving further, we will be seeing part 16, which is talking about the special provisions with respect to certain classes. Okay. Then part 17 is talking about the official languages. Part 18 is talking about the emergency provision. Now, this is quite important for you. Questions has been asked from this. Then part 19, if we talk about, that is miscellaneous. Part 20 is amendment of the constitution. Now, part 20 is also important, and article 368 is important for you. So please remember this. Moving further, part 21, that is talking about the temporary, transitional and the special provision. And then part 22, this is the last one, that is short title, commencement and the authoritative text in the Hindi and repeats. Okay, so this is about the parts of the constitution. They have asked question from various parts. You have to actually you can say correctly match the parts given with the respective topics. Okay. Moving further, if we talk about the preamble, you know that this is the document in front of you, that is called preamble, and it is actually talking about from where we are deriving the authority. Okay, so that is from the people of India. Okay, so if you read the preamble, it is saying that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to the constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Okay, here you will be seeing that there are certain words which were added later, that is socialist and secular. These two words were added later. Here you can say in the footnotes they have mentioned that by the Constitution 42nd Amendment Act they were added. Okay, and other than that, if you talk about what you can say preamble is talking about, that is talking about to secure its all citizens justice, social, economic and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. Again, this term unity and integrity was added later through the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976, and that is one of the reasons why 42nd Constitution Amendment Act, 42nd Constitution Amendment Act 1976, it is also called as the mini constitution. Okay, I hope that is clear. And from the preamble also one more information is given, that when did we adopt the document, that is basically 26th November 1949. Okay, 1949, 26th November 1949. This is the day when we actually has adopted the constitution, and that is why we celebrate that day as the Constitution Day. Okay, now moving further, we'll be seeing the next thing, that is you can say some facts about the preamble which are given over here. A preamble is an introduction to a constitution. Okay, now this particular document was added in the end when the drafting of the constitution was done. In the end we have added this document, yet it is giving introduction of our constitution. Okay, N.A. Palkhiwala has called the preamble as the identity card of the constitution, because you see all the basic things which has been discussed in the constitution, or you can say philosophy of the constitution, has been discussed in the preamble. Okay, on 13th December 1946, the objective resolution introduced by Jawaharlal Nehru became the foundation of the preamble. In Berubari case 1960, the Supreme Court did not consider preamble to be the part of the constitution. Initially Supreme Court said that it is not the part of the constitution, but later on in the Kshevanand Bharti it was established that preamble is part of the constitution. Okay, and preamble has been amended once, so you can amend the preamble, but you cannot take away the basic structure, or you can say basic phenomena which is discussed in this. Okay, so as I told you, in 42nd Constitution Amendment Act 1976 there are two things which has been added. One is socialist and secular, these two terms were added, and other than that the term unity and the integrity of nation which were added in the preamble. Now moving further, we'll be talking about the fundamental rights. As I told you that it is given in the part 3 of the constitution, and they are considered as the Magna Carta of India. Okay, at present there are 6 fundamental rights. Earlier there used to be 7. One of them has been removed, that is right to property. Right now we are having 6, that is right to equality, that is given under article 14 to 18. Right to freedom, that is given under article 19 to 22. Right to right against you can say exploitation, that is given under article you can say 23 to 24. Then we have right to freedom of religion, that is given under 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights are there, article 29 and 30. And then right to constitutional remedies, which is there under article 32. Okay, let's talk about these rights one by one. So when we are talking about the article 14, it is talking about the right before, or you can say equality before the law. Okay, so here that is right to equality, which is given under article 14 to article 18. Article 14 is talking about the right to equality before law. That means that state shall not deny any person equality before the law or equal protection of law within the territory of India. So that means that law will be same for all. Okay. Now here when we are talking about the law will be same for all, that means that law will be same for those people who are similarly situated. Okay. Now the idea of equality before law is having a British origin. Okay. And when we talk about the idea of equal protection of law, that has been taken from the US Constitution. Okay. So please remember that these questions has been asked in the past with respect to the from where equality before law has been taken, from where equal protection of law has been taken. Okay. Now coming to the article 15, that is talking about the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth, or any of them. Okay. So they are saying that on the basis of only these things, on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex, and place of birth, you cannot discriminate against any particular person. Okay. Article 16 is talking about the equality of opportunity in the matters of the public employment. Then this is basically, you can say, this is the you can say article from where you take away the affirmative action. Okay, affirmative action means that we are going for specific provisions for reservation, etc. These are basically affirmative actions. Okay, you can say consider this as the source of the authority. Okay. Then article 17, that is talking about the abolition of untouchability. Article 18, that is talking about the abolition of title. Earlier Britishers used to give these titles like Rai Bahadur, okay, Khan Bahadur, like that. So these titles has been abolished. Okay. Then moving further, you will be seeing right to freedom, article 19 to 22. If you look at the article 19 itself, is talking about various you can say kind of freedoms. 19 clause 1 is guaranteeing 6 rights. Okay, so here you will be seeing when we talk about the article 19, that is basically talking about the freedom of speech and expression. Okay, so here you will be seeing article 19 is giving you 6 rights. One is right to freedom of speech and expression. Second is right to assemble peacefully without arms. Then third is right to form association or unions. Okay, in this you can say cooperative societies has also been added. Okay. Then fourth one is right to move freely throughout the territory of India. Fifth is right to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. And the sixth one is right to practice any profession or to carry any occupation, trade, or business. Okay. Now these rights are given, but again one more thing is there, that when we look at them, there is one thing which is there, that there are certain reasonable restrictions which are also there. Okay, so these rights are not absolute in nature. Okay, moving further, originally article 19 contains 7 rights, as I told you, but the right to acquire, hold, dispose of the property was deleted with the, you can say, 44th Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, so article 31 and article 19 clause 1 subclause F, that has been deleted. Now right to property is not a, you can say, fundamental right, but still it is a legal constitutional right because it is mentioned under article 300A. Okay, so I hope it is understood. Now moving further, article 20, this is talking about the protection in respect of conviction of for the offenses. Okay, under this there are 3 protections which are given. A person shall be convicted of any offense for the violation of law in force at that point of time. Okay, the thing is, when that particular law is violated and at that point of time that act is considered as a, you can say, act against the law, then only that is the protection which is given. Okay, so here the meaning is that you can be convicted only if you have committed a crime. Okay, and that crime, that particular act should be crime at the day when it was committed. Second is, no person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offense more than once. Okay, let's say someone has performed a theft. Now for that theft he will be punished only once and not again and again. Okay, but considering, you know, let's say you are working in a particular office and you have committed a crime over there, and the office has gone for a disciplinary action and they have, you can say, terminate you. Okay, and then for that particular crime the court has actually given you other sentence, that does not amount to, you can say, more than one's punishment, because that disciplinary action is altogether a different thing. Okay, now no person accused of any offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. Okay, so here the point is that you can say you cannot compel a particular person to tell that he has committed a crime. Okay, so you must have seen that if a particular person is telling police officers in the investigation that he has committed a crime or he has confessed to the crime, that is not valid in court of law. You have to confess in front of a magistrate. Okay, So that is what the point is, that a person who is accused of any offense shall not be compelled to witness against himself. Now, when we talk about the Article 21, that is the protection of life and personal liberty, this is the most elaborate article which is there in the Constitution. This is the article which is broad in nature. Supreme Court has given various interpretations with respect to this article. Here, no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. Okay, that is there. Then here they are talking about the procedure established by law. Now there is another term which is due course of law. Okay, so this is your homework. Due course of law, this is your homework to go and check what is the difference between the procedure established by law and due course of law, and what we follow in India. Okay, Supreme Court has reaffirmed its judgment in Menka Gandhi versus Union of India, saying that in you can say spirit we are following due course of law. Okay, now there are certain rights which are over here: right to live with human dignity, right to decent environment, right to livelihood, right to privacy, right to health, right to free legal aid, right to speedy trial. All these things are part of your Article 21, because that is what talking about the right to life. And here right to life means right to a dignified life. Okay, so all these rights are added over here. Recently one more right is added, that is basically right against the effects of the climate change. Okay, that is a recent decision of Supreme Court, so you can remember that as well. Now moving further, Article 21A, that is talking about right to education. It was 86th Constitution Amendment Act in 2002 which has actually came up with this particular right. The right says that states shall provide free and compulsory education to all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. Okay, earlier it was there in the DPSPs, now it has been made a fundamental right. Now Article 22, if we talk about, that is talking about the protection against the arrest and detention. Okay, so when a person is being arrested or detained, then he should be informed about the grounds of arrest. Okay, then there is this right procedure which has to be followed, and he has to be produced within 24 hours in front of a magistrate. Okay, so that is there. Moving further, right against exploitation, that is Article 23 to 24, that is talking about prohibition of traffic in human beings and the forced labor. Okay, so human trafficking or the forced labor has been actually made or you can say they have been prohibited by the Article 23. And then Article 24 is talking about the prohibition of employment of children below age of 14 years in any factory, mines, or any hazardous activity. So basically they are against the child labor. Okay, coming to the next one, that is talking about the right to freedom of religion. Okay, Article 25 to 28. Okay, Article 25 is talking about the freedom of conscience and free profession, practice, and propagation of religion. So you can freely propagate, freely profess, or practice your religion. Okay, you cannot force a conversion, but you can profess, practice, and propagate. Okay, moving further, Article 26 is talking about freedom to manage religious affairs. Then Article 27 is talking about freedom from taxation for promotion of any particular religion. Article 28 is talking about freedom as to attendance at the religious instructions or religious worship in certain education institution. Okay, so basically, if there is a institution which is asking you to go for the you can say religious, attending the religious instruction, or you can say any kind of religious worship, so that is you can say you are having a freedom with respect to that. Then moving further, Article 29 and 30, that is talking about the cultural and the educational rights. Okay, Article 29 is saying that protection of language, script, and the culture of minorities. And Article 30 is talking about the rights of minority to establish and administer educational institution. Okay, now moving further, right to constitutional remedies. There are certain remedies which are there under Article 32, wherein if your fundamental right is being violated, you can directly go and approach the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court accordingly can issue certain writs. Okay, these writs are habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. I give you this homework that you have to go and read about these writs. Okay, and otherwise, if you know, you can mention in the comment box. Now moving further, directive principles, these are mentioned in the, you can say, part 4 of the Constitution. Okay, so when we are talking about the part 4 of the Constitution, that is Article 36 to 51, there are various, you can say, DPSPs which are mentioned, and we have taken this DPSP from the Irish Constitution, which we have already seen. Okay, now there are three different kind of DPSPs are there. One is based on your Gandhian principle, second is based on your Nehruvian principle. Okay, and here you can see one is Gandhian, Second is Nehruvian principle, or you can say that liberal intellectual principles. Okay, liberal intellectual principles. And third one is socialist principles. Okay, I hope that is clear. So DPSPs can be divided in Gandhian principles, liberal intellectual principles, and the socialist principles. Now there are prominent articles which are given in front of you. Here you can see that is article 38 is talking about a state to secure a social order for promoting welfare of the people. Okay, then article 39 is talking about the certain principles of policy to be followed by the state. So basically here they are saying that in article 39 that government has to follow these instructions which are given to the government. Okay, then we have article 39A that is talking about the equal justice and free legal aid. Now this is the foundation of the NALSA. Okay, when we talk about these national legal service authorities, etc., so that is the foundation for that. Moving further, you will be seeing article 40 which is talking about the organization of the village panchayats. When we talk about article 41, that is talking about the right to work, education, and the public assistance in certain cases. Article 42 is talking about the just and human conditions for work and maternity relief, etc. Article 43 is talking about securing a living wage, or you can say equal wage for the workers. That is also there. Then talking about article 43A, that is talking about the participation of workers in the management. Okay, earlier we have given them right that there should be a equal wage, and then there should be this living wage which should be given, and later we are saying that in the management also these you can say labor should participate. Article 44 is talking about UCC. You know that recently Uttarakhand has gone for implementing the UCC. Earlier if we talk about, so Goa already has this. Okay, then moving further, article 45 is talking about the early childhood care, okay, and the education for all children until they attain the age of 6 years. Okay, moving further, article 46 is talking about the to promote the education and the economic interest of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe and other weaker section of the society. Moving further, article 47 is talking about the to raise the level of nutrition and the standard of living to improve the public health and prohibition of the consumption of intoxications. Okay, article 48 is talking about the you can say agriculture, animal husbandry, all these things. Article 48 is talking about the to protection of the environment, or to safeguard the forest and the wildlife, etc. Article 49 is talking about the you can say preservation of monuments, places, object of national importance, etc. Article 50 is talking about providing separation of executive and judiciary. Article 51 is talking about provision of international peace and security enhancement. Okay, now these are certain articles which you have to go through. Okay, if you talk about certain articles which are important, so here you can see article 39 is important, 39A is important, 40 is important, you can say article 44 is important. Okay, then you can say article 45, article 48A is important, then article 51 is important. Okay, now obviously all these articles are important, but these are some prominent ones which you should remember at any cost. Okay, moving further to the fundamental duties. Okay, with the article 51A in the part 4A of the constitution, and that has been added in the 42nd constitution amendment act 1976, wherein preamble was also been amended. Okay, so that is why it is called a mini constitution, because the you can say provision of fundamental duties has also been added over here. These duties has been added on the recommendation of the Swaran Singh committee. Okay, I hope that is clear. And these has been inspired from the Soviet Union, which we have already seen. Originally there were 10 fundamental duties which were there. Now 11th was added in the you can say 2002 86th constitution amendment act, and here you can see that was related to the education. Okay, right to education was there. Similarly, at that point of time, one duty was also added. Okay, now moving further, this is the list of fundamental duties which is given over here. You can see article 51A is talking about fundamental duties, and it is the duty of every citizen. Again, we have seen that DPSPs is an obligation on the state. Fundamental rights are the benefits which are given to the citizens, and state has to follow. Now here you can say fundamental rights can be considered as a restriction on the state as well. Now 51A, if we talk about, that is fundamental duties. Now this is the duty of citizens, that citizens also have certain duties which they have to follow. Okay, now what are the duties? To abide by the constitution and respect its ideal and the institution, national flag, national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, integrity, and unity of India, to defend the country and render national services when they called upon you. Then to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, and the regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Other than that, to protect and improve the natural environment, including forest, lake, rivers, wildlife, etc., to develop scientific temper and humanism, spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property and to absorb, you can say, violence, to strive for excellence in all spheres of individual and the collective activities, so that the nation constantly rises together to the higher levels. Okay. Then when we are talking about the parents, that is the recent one which was added, who is a parent or the guardian to provide opportunity for education to his children, or as the case may be, to the ward between the age of 6 and 14 years. Okay, so that is the last one which was added recently. Now this is the, you can say, discussion which we have had on the important topics. Now there are certain practice questions which are given over here. Question number 1 is saying that the doctrine of judicial review in the Constitution of India is borrowed from which of the following countries' constitution? Britain, Canada, United States of America, and Ireland. Now you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. Second question is, who called preamble as the identity card of the Constitution? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, D.D. Basu, Granville Austin, or N.A. Palkhiwala? Okay. Question number 3, which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the organization of village panchayat? Article 39, Article 40, Article 41, Article 44. Okay, so you have to attempt this question and answer in the comment box. Which of the following parts of the Indian Constitution deal with the amendment of the Constitution? Part 18, Part 15, Part 20, and Part 17. We have discussed the Article 368. Now you have to tell me that in which part this article is like. Now at question number 5, which of the following is not a fundamental duty mentioned under Article 51A? Options are to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to uphold and protect sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to safeguard public property and abjure violence, and to organize agriculture and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines. So you have to attempt all these questions and answer to me in the comment box. So with that, I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. Have a nice day. Thank you.
डियर व्यूअर्स, अपने एग्जाम की तैयारी को और बेहतर करने के लिए हमारे चैनल को लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना न भूलें।